Hi, this is Joe Davis with GotBaseballCards.com. I'm a lifelong sports card collector and hobby veteran for over 30 years. We are very excited to offer you this channel to provide you the finest in sports card news and entertainment. Thanks for watching. Welcome back to Sports Cards with Joe
and Doug.
And Doug, today we're talking show business.
Show business.
Show business. Now, I'm not talking. No. I'm not talking about your Broadway days.
Oh.
We're talking sports card show business.
Card show. The business of card shows.
Gotcha. So coming up, we're going to be at a couple shows, or I'm going to be at a couple shows. Just this week coming up, I'm going to be at Harrah's Las Vegas for a 2-day show there, Friday and Saturday. So if you're out in the Vegas area, come on out. I think it's a 200 table show. Look forward to meeting with many customers there. Then the end of the month, we're going to have a crew headed up to Nashville, 600 table show at the fairgrounds, 28th, 29th, and 30th of October. We're going to have 5 tables there. So we're going to be offering a great array of cards, but also taking submissions, meeting with customers. So lots of show business for us coming up. But, you know, as long as we've been in the business, Doug, you've attended tons of shows over the years. We've set up, I've been doing the national, like my first one was 1989, and been setting up on and off since 92, I think. So learned a lot of trial and error for sure.
So, and now we were at this year's national. I was up there with you. Our booth was complimented over and over and over again about how organized we were, details, the way we price things. It was almost every person that came up to us, and I have to admit, I walked around a little bit, and I can see why ours stood out amongst some of the others, because not necessarily that organized, maybe not even prices on some cards and stuff. So, Joe, you've been doing it for a long time. Hopefully, you can provide some pointers. We can both provide some pointers and help our customers that also do shows, because they're not just attending shows. A lot of them set up at shows as well.
Yeah, because there's shows going on every weekend across the country. And so we hope in this short video that we can provide you with some tips and tricks. I'm taking these off the top of my head because I'm visualizing what it was like at the National this year and past years, things we've done right, things we've done wrong, things we've learned from. And I think the first thing for me is, if you're setting up at a show, is give yourself enough space. Because that little, and especially like a weekend show where you're paying $50 or $75, whatever, for a table, sometimes they're cheaper than that. Getting that one extra table, to me, is absolutely well worth it. You're talking about selling one more card for $50 or something to maybe cover that whole table rental. So many dealers I've seen, both at local shows and at the National, they bring 5 tables worth of inventory and they've got one table. And stuff is stacked everywhere. It's crammed under the table, crammed behind them. They don't even know where stuff is. They can't see it. There's no space. So give yourself enough room, especially on the shows where it's where they're really affordable tables. Buy that extra table so you can breathe a little.
It's all based on how much you have. You definitely don't want to be putting showcases on top of showcases. Use the space, get it. As Joe said, it doesn't cost that much to get a little extra room, a little extra table, spread it out. Don't have all of your customers standing all over the one section where you have all the cards. So space is one good pointer.
Yeah,
don't be afraid to get an extra table.
Yeah, it's one of the best investments you can make. And then take time to prepare. Anybody can go to a show and say, hey, I got a lot of cool cards, and throw them out there. You got to take the time. We spend weeks and weeks, months actually preparing for like our big shows. I'm spending time every night this week prepping just for the 2-day show in Vegas. Pricing, real-time pricing. You can't price a card and then a year later stick it at the same price, and your comps are all over the place. Either you're going to get taken because the card's shot up in price, or people they see that one card that's 5x, and they assume, man, this guy's way over market. We're just going to skip on his table. So you need accurate real-time pricing.
And the true part of that is that we were just at the it feels like we were just at the National, and yet you're now spending evenings, and we have people here repricing everything.
Stuff from the National.
It has to be, especially in the environment of today's hobby, where not only do cards shoot up in value very quickly based on on-field performances, but they also can come down pretty quickly, even with and without injuries that can happen as well.
Yeah.
So the last thing you want to do is have cards that are not priced accurately. So you have, and we did for the National. Joe said weeks, and then he rephrased it to months. We were doing the pricing at the last minute, but the prep work for the National, all the signs and all the getting the cases and figuring out how many tables we were going to use and the layouts, that was months worth of work.
Yeah, and beyond just the pricing is being organized once you get there. You know, I saw some tables at the National this year and they had a big setup, and it was just kind of like random. You're like, well, there's a Jordan card, and there's a Jeter, and there's a Gretzky, and there's a vintage, and there's a Zion that just came out. And then the next case was the same way, and the next case the same way. And I'm just like, you could spend 1 hour and at least group it by sport, because otherwise, you know, when you're at a big show, sometimes these regional shows can have hundreds of tables. If that customer feels like you didn't prep for it, then it's a waste of his time. He's going to move on to the next table. You know, we love if a customer walks up, they can see, oh, here's your football, here's your hockey, here's your non-sport, whatever. And so they can quickly zero in on what they want. And we do the same thing in our retail store. But if you're disorganized, if you don't know what you've got, to me, that's disrespectful to the customer.
A lot of times the guy behind the counter knows what he has.
Right.
But people are not going to ask each and every time, do you have a Juan Gonzalez or whoever it may be that they're looking for? Yep. They're not going to ask you that. They're going to see, oh, there's baseball. Let me go and look in the baseball section. But if it's disorganized, as you said, they're probably not going to stop and ask the question. It's very difficult to get people to, they even have their want lists in their hands, but not everybody wants to shout out, hey, you know, I'm looking for Albert Pujols, which now is popular.
Very common
now, but even for the National, I don't think there were too many people shopping Pujols. But
so yeah, be organized. Organized to the nth degree. You know, make it as simple as possible for your customers to find what they're looking for. Also, we've talked about pricing, being accurate in pricing. We recommend pricing right on the front of the card, because if you just price on the back and you're making the customer every time go, how much is that? They feel like you're feeling them out, like, well, he's dressed nice. Yeah, he can probably go 400 on this card. You know, and it's just bad. You know, it's better to say, here's what we're asking, and if they want to negotiate with you, that's secondary. But I think it's better to say, here's our pricing, have it right there on the front of the card. And the worst to me is when nothing's priced. And you say, you know, how much is that mantle? Well, hold on, let me look it up for you. That's disrespectful of the customer's time. And you're like, well, let me look it up. And then you go, well, I'm interested in like 20 cards. And they're like, well, let me get a price guide, or let me pull it up online, you know. And it's just, that's insulting to me that the seller didn't take enough time to price. I understand if they just bought a collection at the show and they're flipping it or whatever, but how irritating is that to you, Doug, as a customer?
I usually don't. I mean, I don't get too far. Sure, if I'm interested in a Gretzky rookie, a Topps rookie card, and he has one and it's not priced, then yeah, I'm probably going to say how much for that card. There are certain cards that you don't have to worry about that with, but we're talking about the rest of the cards out there. The 27 Kobe's, the 100 Michael Jordans that you have. If you don't, we've found that with the pricing on the face of them, it just gives everybody, they're more relaxed, they're more comfortable, they're more willing to banter a little bit. Are you sure that should be $100 on that card? I might be interested at $50, and then yes, you may have to go and double check your pricing and stuff like that. The other point I was going to make, it also revolves around pricing, is don't do your pricing when you're at the show. It's so annoying for me to see someone sitting with a box, a graded 2-row box, and they're pulling each card out and they're looking them up on their phone. Usually you don't get very good service because there's so many people there. You need to be using that time to be standing up there in front of the customers, you know, wrangling them in, talking to them, interacting with them. and you're sitting down, you're doing pricing, people are going to be walking by and they're not going to be giving you any time. So the pricing thing ahead of time, do it ahead of time. Don't do it that far ahead of time. And go ahead and put your price on the face of the card. That was what people appreciated the most of all of our organization, was the fact that we had every single card had a price on the face of it.
Yeah, and even if you've got, you know, dollar boxes, $5 box, or vintage boxes, like we had 20 some odd shoe boxes full of vintage. Every card broken down by year, every card priced, every card in numerical order.
Thousands and thousands of cards that way, all the way back to the 40s,
right.
The start of the, you know, the
modern era,
baseball card. And people were amazed at that too. Again, that was just one section that we spent weeks on. We had a lot of people working prior to that. It's all about the prep work.
So if you're a regular show dealer, you're doing them once a month, whatever, all of this preparation work on the front end is incredibly helpful, and you'll be rewarded by more sales because you've spent the time on the back end doing that work. And one of the other things, Doug, is just, I think about it, is just common courtesy. You know, greet the people when they come up to your booth. I went to the National this year. There were some people, I stood at their booth. Nobody even said a word to me. I'm standing there as a possible customer, and they couldn't even greet me. So, you know. It's
true. And there is a fine line between being a little bit too aggressive and then just showing no interest whatsoever. We always, when someone comes up, we'll joke about their shirt or something. Can I help you? I'm just looking. That's
not in a disrespectful way, just right. Some talking point with them. Yeah.
If you have any questions, we'll be happy to help you. Just recognizing them that they're there. That's their time they're spending looking at your stuff. Common courtesy, as you say, is to say hello.
Exactly. They've chose your booth over everyone else in the room for that period of time. Give them some respect. And two, one other good point is take something with you to help the customer reach out to you later. Business cards. We always take handouts, marketing materials. We have signage that tells us, hey, we're with GotBaseballCards.com. You know, don't just be Random Joe, using my name, at Random Joe at a show. You know, give something when they buy from you. Hey, here's my card. Look me up. You know, hit me on Instagram. Whatever. You know, here's my Facebook page. Here's my website. Whatever. Here's my eBay store. So find a way to connect with that customer beyond the show.
I think you did something this year. And I know we're a big store and we have a little bit more of the resources, but you got labels for the pricing that had Got Baseball Cards and then a little spot for the price that fit perfectly on a graded card holder. Yeah. And even though they're going to take it out of that sleeve, it has our name on it as they take it away.
Exactly.
And if they show their buddies what they had just bought, it's going to say our name on it.
Exactly. So just another way to connect the dots when they get back to their state. They're like, oh, I can go to GotBaseballCards.com. I bought from them. So there's so many little things you can do, from your price stickers to business cards to marketing materials. So many ways to reach out to that customer again.
You're being short-sighted if you just are happy that a guy bought a $100 graded card from you and then you're never going to see him again.
Or communicate with him.
Yeah, you should try. I mean, there are times when we've developed relationships at shows that have carried on further than that. More business.
Oh, yeah. Plenty.
We do submissions. We help a lot of people all over the country, all over the world with submissions. And some people don't know that, even with our huge signs that are up there. So if you're doing grading, if you'd like us to look at your cards, give you a best friend eyeball on your cards to maybe catch something that you didn't, we use all those opportunities.
Yeah, and in closing, just common respect. We talked about greeting customers. You know, a lot of times in negotiation back and forth, people get heated. And like, as much as I love cardboard, it's still cardboard. Treat each other with respect. There's no reason to get in arguments over a transaction. And so treat people with the same respect you want to be treated with, and you'll build your reputation in a positive way as a good, upstanding, reputable show dealer. So hope these ideas have helped. If you like the content, let us know. We can bring back more like this. But we just wanted to share a few ideas for those of you who set up at local shows or regional shows, wherever it might be. And again, we hope to see you Las Vegas. I'm at Harrah's this week, and we'll be in Nashville 28th, 29th, and 30th at the Fairground Show. So hope you will come and see us there. Also, if you're local area, come out and see us here in Loganville. Brand new renovated storefront. Doug, we want them to check it out.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Joe, you've done a great job. It doesn't even look the same. There's so much room. It is so nice. You should come out, see the new retail store. You will be impressed.
And it is very organized, just like
it is organized.
And so, so in closing, this has been show business. So again, come out and see me at the shows. And finally, you know, just last point. Hey, show respect for those customers, you know, and build those relationships. And you too will be a great, successful show dealer and have a great time at those shows. So we hope to see you at some of the upcoming shows. Hope to see you at the retail store. Thanks again for tuning in today. I hope you will like and subscribe, share our video, and we will see you back next time. Signing off for Joe.
And Doug.